So I stand here, and I wonder if you remember the time when I was 5 and you were 10, we lived in orbital around each other. You were here with Galileo, and you wanted to be a scientist the likes of Einstein. And when we swing under the apple trees, you preach of the Newtonian theory of relativity. And so, gravity became the first theory I ever adopted in an attempt to explain the forces around you and me. You were fascinated with space, not just astronaut space, but the space between people, the space. The silence between words, the space that has awkward tension, the space that has a gap of 5 years. And so do you remember the time when you were the center of my little universe, the origin of all stellar matter, because everything that came from you both shone and flew. Never mind that we eventually crash and collide, more meteors and believed debris, conflict and animosity we have never foreseen. Because when you first told me of a Milky Way galaxy, I refused to believe it wasn't made out of milk and chocolate Oreo cookies. Never mind that by the time I turned 10, you'd be 15, off to a universe beyond my reach, because then I was 5 and you were 10 and we were the best of friends. And so I asked, do you remember? Because here is me finally at 15, and I'm mourning all the things I've lost since then. I'm mourning the time when I could just dream of facts and believe. Because this is me steeped in nostalgia, even though I'm still so young. And I'm remembering. And I'm wondering what would happen if you see me now, because 10 years earlier, my dear little scientist friend, none of us would have believed, nothing would have ever convinced us to believe that one day we'd be strangers that don't even speak, not even in our wildest dreams. Because I still remember running home that one rain-illuminated spring night, sliding warm palm against warm palm, icy fingers sliding over icier knuckles. And I remember looking up, and I have yet to see a sky that struck me more profound. And I was 5, but for a moment I believed that the fates would keep us forever intertwined. But then, summer passed and autumn came, and you started to change. In my universe, you started becoming the unknown factor, when before you were the constant I could use to measure everything else, be it space or time or mind. You were the backbone of my theory of relativity, and without you, I became lost in elementary, not knowing whether it was cooler to know E equals mc squared or not. Because by then you were 13, you had moved on to a higher calling, past the science of space to a study of the human anatomy, or prime female specimens, so to speak. And that was beyond me, more so than the idea of an ever-expanding galaxy, swallowing infinities, black holes, the idea that time can change everything. Nevertheless, I started reading books on the human anatomy, and because you wanted to be a scientist, I grew to know every bone in the human body. I knew how the heart worked, how the brain worked, how skin is the largest organ within our bodies. And that became my new theory. And I was only 10, but I knew I finally had the answer. Because do you know that humans shed skin every day? Every day, skin cells live, and when they die, we just drop them off like they're nothing. Every day, we let the biggest parts of ourselves fall off like they cease to exist, like they would cease to exist. Every day, we change, and we don't even know. And it's a simple theory, but it's not as easy to accept as it seemed. Because now do you understand how I grew to know, how I grew and learned why relative to time we change, we become new. And every day we keep dropping and discarding, not innocence, not tears, not lives, not hopes, but skin, shedding. We walk, we grow, and we leave ourselves behind.